From the creators of Relevant Magazine, this is the Relevant Podcast.
I love her, and I could never leave her lonely. Ring, ring on the iPhone, that was my homie. He told me, you can make it out to LA and you find a place to stay. We can make a little bread, so what you thinking? I think that sounds like a plan. Never buy a spirit when you hopping on a plane. Dang, all I need is one chance like Biggie to make it. And if I do, I'll bring my whole city with me. Dang.
It's a week of Friday, November 10th, 2017, and it's the Relevant Podcast. I'm your host, Cameron Strang, and here with me in our Orlando studios, Eddie Big Cat Koffels.
It is nice to see you, Cameron.
Over there on the ones and twos, our illustrious producer, my brother, Chandler Strang.
Hello.
There are a couple of other people in the studio, which maybe it'll come up later on the show.
But only one is your brother. And
That is true.
Right.
That's true. On the Skype line from Loverland, Virginia, Jesse Carey.
Hello?
Nice pop filter. That pop filter sounds great.
Oh, and joining us from Nashville, Tennessee, Tyler Huckabee.
Merry Christmas. It's nice to be here.
It's the
on
holiday
Monday,
season.
The Christmas season.
I prefer happy holidays.
Well, there's many. We're straddling several holidays right now, so it would be very kind of you to say happy holidays.
Guys, around the table, is it appropriate to go ahead and start decorating now that we're a week into November? Thoughts?
No.
Because I'd never put up a Christmas light in my own house and my own property in my life. If I didn't have a family, I don't know that I'd even do a Christmas tree. But this year, I'm going to embrace it.
See, this is what, we longtime listeners know we've had an Ask Science Mike button. This is when we need an Ask Shauna button.
Yeah, right. Because there's an actual answer here, but I feel like it would bring more authority coming from her.
Hey, before we move the show along and do, in case you missed it, I wanted to tell you a little behind the scenes thing. There's a lot of people joining the Relevant crew right now. We're expanding, and every week there's like new faces. We're doing name tags and meet and greets. It's a whole thing. And sitting in on this in the studio today is our new managing editor, and I wanted to introduce him. It's Andre Henry. Welcome to the podcast.
Hey, thanks.
He's sitting in on the show today.
Now,
I'm putting him on the spot. He wasn't planning on being on the mic.
And I have to interrupt this for a second because I did not know that there's a new managing editor coming. There was probably some email. Of course, I did not check that. Maybe you told me and I forgot. But I'm just walking down the hall towards the studio.
There's a new guy.
And I was like, hey, have we met before? It's like, no. Who are you? And he's the new managing editor. So it's a very exciting time.
Andre just moved here from LA. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
You're very cool. Have you always been cool?
No.
Really? When did you start to kind of realize you were sort of cool? Because you wear like cool bracelets and cool jackets and things. Have you always had a sense of style?
No, I did not.
Really?
Actually, that was
How did it kick in?
Being made fun of.
Oh, no. By who?
Yeah. No,
That's a good motivation.
Wait, how old were you when this... Let's dive into this. This is fun therapy.
Yeah.
This is going to be like, this is a terrible story. Like,
No,
this
tell
is
us.
like,
No, I want to
Give it to
know.
us.
Now you guys are curious.
Are you okay sharing it with us
like,
and
I'm
300,000
okay
people?
sharing it, but I think all of you are going to be really sad after I tell the story.
Oh,
Like,
most of us on
no.
the podcast have no feelings, so you can just move on.
Our feelings eroded long ago. Huh?
Yeah.
Okay, I think there are two things that made me start like really paying attention to the way that I dress.
Okay.
The first was in college, one of the administrators at my school sat me down and told me that I smelt bad, that I was boring, and that I did not dress well. And that moment changed my life.
And that's at Christian University.
That is at a Christian university.
That is
only 50% of the event that made me start changing. That really changed my style forever.
I am in shock.
The other 50% is probably just as bad.
I cannot believe it. So
What was he thinking?
did you leave Liberty at that point and go to a different school?
So Andre, the thing that, I mean, it's all super insulting, but was he saying like you dress boring?
No, I mean the boring comment was like what you see is what you get kind of thing. Like there's no depth to you kind of thing.
Oh my God.
So on top of it was the you don't dress well. So it was like a negative sandwich.
Was he trying to encourage you to like dress for the job you want, not the job you have, sort of thing?
Good question.
No, this
is my coolest outfit that I own, period. And it's a black t-shirt
It's
that
a
I wear.
black t-shirt.
It's one of 4 black shirts I
and
wear.
some nicely tailored dungarees.
Eddie's coolest shirt that he has says a breadcrumb and fish on it.
Science Mike and I have like randomly become friends via the internet, and one of my favorite things is his fashion blog on Instagram. Where like he just gets on every day and goes, and today I wore a gray t-shirt.
Yeah. He is cool. And the clothing does not define
Doesn't matter at all.
Yeah, take that, Christian administrator.
One time, Andre, I too went to a Christian school, and I, for a degree requirement, had to anchor like the campus news for a brief time. And I was like, one of the people that read the news on the little TV news station.
Do these tapes exist anywhere? Does your mom have a copy?
I don't even think my parents know that I did that because it was so terrible. I mean, you could call the mass comm department at ORU. They might be. I have no idea.
Well, pause. Pause, Jesse. Yeah. You can call anyone who's listening to the show.
Yeah.
He just gave you instructions. You can just call the mass comm department at ORU and get a hold of these tapes.
Tapes of young Jesse anchoring the news.
Yeah. What's my relevant email address? Eddie at
relevantmagazine.com.
I highly doubt they exist.
I highly doubt they do too. But if they exist, Eddie at relevantmagazine.com.
There you go.
So Cameron was familiar with my hair length at the time because it was I did an internship around that time.
Early 2000s shaggy. It would be, you know the look, like that kind of mop haircut thing.
We all have it, right?
Yeah,
but I was also a huge napper in college, and many of my appearances was minutes. I was in a deep sleep minutes after being before being on the air most of the time. Like an alarm would go off in my dorm.
Was it like a morning show?
No, it was in the afternoon. It was in the afternoon, but I had about an hour gap between. That's just enough time for me to catch a snooze somewhere in a hidden nook of the building. Right. Anyway, so I would do it, and I looked a little, probably not like a TV anchor should look. And so I was walking, and an administrator saw me. I'd never met this guy before, never seen him, but I guess he had seen the news. And he recognized me and he goes, "Hey, Ron Burgundy, it's time to cut your hair." And I was like, "Good one, man. That's a good one." And he goes, "No, I'm serious. You're on the campus TV. You please cut your hair." And I was like, "Oh."
Let me just say,
so you're a worship leader, you're on TV, so y'all are projecting the school's image, and I get it now that he would. And he had a bone to pick.
I get it.
But Andre, in your situation, it deeply affected you. Mine, I went and took a nap.
Oh, that was but again, like it was one of two events. Like so, it was a 1-2 punch.
Yeah, Jesse's story was nowhere close to as awful as yours.
No,
Jesse
probably wasn't at all. It wasn't. I'm just saying. My whole point is Christian school administrators can evidently be catty. I'm not making an equivalence here.
Definitely catty. Well. Anything else we should know about you?
hey, Andre, real quick. I've been Nathan and I have been teasing out this segment where we have different like authors, thinkers, and artists come on, and I downloaded an app that asks like interesting questions. It's called Get Grabbin', right? And I was thinking about doing lightning rounds with different people, so not to do the average interview. Can I test a couple of these out on you? I'm just pick up my phone. But this is a good trial.
This is good because listeners are going to get to know Andre for a number of reasons. One, we're going to be spitting out a lot of video content and audio content moving forward, and Andre will be one of the main faces you'll see on our platform. So as that rolls out, it'll be good for you guys listening today to get know him more. Mm-hmm. You'll feel connected to him. So yeah, Jesse, why don't we do a quick lightning round of get to know Andre questions from your app?
Okay, and mind you, this is a free app, and this is the second time this app has been open, and it appears to have categories, and I'm starting in the family fun category.
Family fun.
All right.
Would you rather live in a treehouse or a boat?
Oh, treehouse.
Really?
Interesting.
Huh.
Black people don't like water.
Okay.
I mean, like we like to shower, but I mean, like we don't like swim and stuff.
Can I ask you a question?
The boat, you're not swimming.
You're speaking in a pretty broad.
Could happen.
It's true.
It's a pretty broad, sweet, like brush there. Are we okay saying that?
Yeah. It
well,
is.
I could say, white people do blah blah blah.
Yeah, but you wouldn't be right.
I would speak for. There are very white things.
Oh yeah.
That I could say, white people were like this.
Yeah. So for all the people who like will take that very literally, hopefully they don't exist. But if you like know black people like getting in water,
we're talking a nice majority.
Yeah, I mean,
of black people you're saying do not like water.
He wants to live in a treehouse. That's all we're saying.
There are some stereotypes about black people that I fit, and not swimming is one of them. There you go. So,
welcome to Florida.
Yeah.
Welcome to Florida.
And also welcome to a conversation that none of us can really be a part of. Like,
thanks for
your words.
Thanks for debating him on that, by the way, Eddie. That was,
I'm like,
you seem
hold
qualified to debate him on that.
Let's have some real talks about race, you and me.
right away. Let me teach you something about black people.
But Andre, you gotta understand, Eddie's
something you may not know, actually.
Eddie's real talks about race should be a segment, and most of it's debating things as substantive as whether he thinks most black people would rather live in a treehouse or a boat. So, Andre, what did you want to be when you grow up?
The first thing I ever wanted to be was a fireman.
Okay. Our office is directly across from a fire station.
Yeah, I've given up on that dream.
Oh, okay. Well,
but that was the first thing I ever wanted to do.
Okay. Little traditional little boy dream.
Yeah.
Good one.
I mean, I thought there were only 3 jobs in the world. Like you're a fireman, a police officer, or a doctor or something like that.
Yeah.
You know?
Then I definitely choose fireman.
Then I discovered Bob Marley got paid for making music, and my life changed forever.
Whoa. Hold on a second.
Wait,
game changer.
Andre, would you rather be the fastest person you know or the strongest person you know?
Strongest.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, ripping a phone book in half? That's the coolest.
Like the power team.
Yeah.
Exactly. Think of how many souls you'd save for Jesus if you were able to rip phone books in half.
All the high school gymnasiums would be packed.
I'm already broken.
Yeah, because you know how impressive it is when a guy can run fast? Not that impressive, because you just look like a guy running. Like, if I saw a guy and he's not next to other guys running, and he's just like, it's like, I got nothing to compare it to. It's like, I mean, I guess that's fast. I mean, it's like a human running. But if you're lifting up, if you're carrying a phone book, I know I can't do that. But otherwise, I'm like, that seems fast, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. But the other thing, too, is I always picture myself being able to run as fast as anyone. Like, when I watch the Olympics, I'm like, on a good day, if I'm loose, I can run that fast. You know? But I never think that about the power lifter.
Yeah, that's true.
I never think. But when any race I watch, it was like, if it wasn't the hurdles, I could probably do that event. I mean,
all right, what's the next one?
What's the worst punishment you've ever gotten?
Oh, Lord.
That's a hard one.
Wow.
I mean, that's not a hard one. I just don't know if we want to talk about it.
Wow.
Okay. Well, we can skip.
Okay,
you can get a pass.
I can talk about the
want.
most creative punishment.
Okay.
You had to run really fast for hours. Okay.
Run really
Creative.
fast for hours. No, I mean that's like, well, what was the most painful thing you ever gotten beaten with? Is actually what that question is. But
for real, me too.
Yeah,
my mom. When Chandler was a little kid, he was into like armor and stuff, and he had one of these big plastic swords, like one of those like.
This is a wild one.
Whatever, the sword of the shield, all that stuff. He had all that stuff.
Right.
And I mouthed off to my mom. I was back in the laundry room, and she blocked the hallway, and she grabbed whatever she could, and she grabbed that sword.
Yeah.
And I like tried to run by her. And I'm like in high school, and she just whacks me so hard with that sword that it shattered all over on my body. Yeah. But that wasn't even the worst beating I got. I mean, you know, my Southern family.
Yeah,
you get beat.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's whatever's close by.
Let's just hop in here for a second. No, you don't. I can handle all this. No, you don't get beat.
Not only is it a Southern family, but like probably us and a lot of our listeners, they grew up in a time in the church where if your parents actually the closest object to them was a real sword that was kept on hand for spiritual warfare demonstration purposes, that wouldn't be shocking either. So you're lucky it wasn't an actual sword they had standing by.
Yeah, I think the most random thing my sweet mother ever grabbed, because she was like the sweetest person in the world, was a plunger. That was like the weirdest thing I ever got.
So what end did you get hit with?
Yeah, that's important.
I feel like it was the suction end,
which is gross.
I gotta be honest, that doesn't sound that bad. It's
not painful, but
it's kind of rubbery, but it's disgusting.
It was not I'm like, she didn't foresee herself ever hitting me with a plunger. So I mean, you know, it was just like,
dear Lord.
Your parents didn't spank you?
No.
But that explains why I'm such a terrible person. Right? Had I learned a little discipline and maybe gotten beaten, I wouldn't have been a little bit more afraid.
The most creative though was my mom told me I couldn't write songs for a week. Like she was like, no writing songs. And I just went back to my room like, yeah, that's not happening.
My mom would put me on TV restriction. And I couldn't watch Webster. And that really,
That's messed up.
That crushed me.
Yeah.
Because that was my favorite show. And she would put me on Webster restriction.
My heart hurts so bad for you.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah.
Hey, Andre, you just gave me a really devious idea. If I could go back in time, I would act like all the time, like when we're watching TV or hanging out as a family or driving in the car, act like I'm doing really complicated math problems because I love them. Because I hate math. And I would just be like writing random numbers that look really complicated. And then when I get in trouble, she's like, no math for a week. You know, sucker. It's hook, line, and sinker, Mom. You're gonna raise the type of kid who goes to college with unkept hair and takes a lot of naps. So, okay, Andre, hang on. I just realized I can't. This is, like I said, this is a free app, and I just came to the point in these questions where I realized they ran out of ideas. I got to read at least the next two because it's clear the writers of this app ran out of ideas at this point. Hey, Andre, these are terrible questions. Who would even think of this? What would it be like to have magnetic fingertips? I don't know.
It's not even a question about you. What would it be like in general? Like if a man or woman?
I think there was probably some substances being partook in the late night writing session.
They just left. They went outside.
But wait for the next one. Wait for the next one.
Like,
could you use
wouldn't it be nuts to have like fingers and stuff?
Could you use your cell phone if you had magnetic fingertips?
No.
It would ruin your phone.
It would ruin your phone.
You wouldn't be able to handle any tape.
It would be hell. Basically.
It would be terrible.
Yeah. Okay. Here's the next one they came up with after that singer. It's actually a yes or no, which just seems like a terrible idea. And it's a terrible yes or no question. Do you think it would be fun to have a tail?
At this point, they're doing peyote at Joshua Tree and just like tails. Like all of us have tails already.
This is the official app of Burning Man.
I hope that your app has ways to actually discuss this question because I'm not even yes or no. I'm like, but wait, I want to know about what kind of tail.
What? I'm just thinking, like, why would anybody say yes? Why would anybody want a tail?
Is it a long tail?
Why would you want a tail?
Is it fur?
It could be a tail that has utility purposes.
Why would you want one? Like, your life is completely the same, but that.
I don't know. I'm glad I tested this because I was thinking about playing this game with like NT Wright. But actually, I'm pretty sure if NT Wright came on here and we asked him if you think it'd be fun to have a tail, that's a podcast people want to hear. So let's book NT Wright and make sure I bookmark this tail question. I'm interested on his take.
It might be easier to balance in general if you had a tail.
That's true. That's true.
I could swat flies away from my hindquarters.
Or like you can lean on it like a cane. You can like lean on it. You always have like an easel or a step. You know, you can just lean back. Andre, it's good to get to know you, and I'm excited for people to start to see the stuff that we're gonna create together. And I'm glad you're on the team. Welcome.
Yeah, glad to be here.
All right, moving the show along. It is time for our look back at what happened this week in culture and entertainment. It's time for
In Case You Missed It.
Well, before we get into the entertainment and culture stuff, obviously our thoughts and prayers are with the people of Texas and Sutherland Springs specifically after that tragedy that happened on Sunday in the church. I just feel like every week there's just another horrific event that if we don't acknowledge it, it would be, thoughtless of us. So
yeah, and if anybody has been, I mean, I know Tyler, you and I have been pretty vocal on Twitter and stuff and talking about this idea of our thoughts and prayers enough. But I do think it's really important for people to know, well, I do think it's important for us to be praying for the families that were affected. They had like half of their church killed. I mean, it was not that it's just, there's just so many layers to why it's awful, but that's just like, it was a small church where everybody knew each other and in a small city and children were killed. And it's just like, we are just praying for God's mercy in the midst of unspeakable, horrific tragedy.
On
We're
NPR,
really sorry.
On NPR, there was a reporter from San Antonio NPR station who kind of gave a report of the area, and he said, just talking to the people of that town, so many of them, living in a rural environment, felt like all the tragedies happening in the world were like big city problems, and like they were almost insulated from it. Yeah, and he said the thing that is so like you can't ever, like you can't go back, and like the safety and the that innocence of small town America is like forever gone now, especially for the people who live in that area. Well, and I will also say, like, for me personally, it was a little weird because this was the first one that I found myself being desensitized to.
Like, I was like, huh, wow, that's a bummer. And then I thought, no, you got to lean into this. This can't be normal.
Yeah.
Even though it is normal, you can I can't treat this as normal. I need to really, so I really dug in and watched the news and read the stories and because wherever we land on this and whatever the conversation is we're going to have, and I know we can talk about this on different forums, but this can't just be normal.
No.
This just can't be okay. Right. It was crazy. I was watching the news at the end of the newscast that day, and I was assuming that I was going to catch the last half of the news, and there'd be commentary, and they were just doing an alligator was found, blah blah blah. It's like oh, I see. This is just the first 5 minutes of the newscast, and so we got to lean in and make sure this does not become normal.
Right.
And it is not, and we're really sorry.
Yeah, it's one. My son, who's 4, has he came home the other day and he's like,
oh man,
hey, Dad, it's really good that nobody died today. And I was like, oh, why would you say that? He's like, well, the flag was at the top of the pole. And because he's come to know that when they put the flag at half mast, it's because of a national tragedy. And it's one of those things where it happens so frequently that a child recognizes it. And I think it's one of those things for Christians. We need to stay vigilant and we need to stay active, and we need to make sure that we're taking actions that we think can prevent these types of things from happening. And it's devastating. And yeah, like you said, Eddie, Eugene Cho tweeted something this morning about we can't make this normal. We cannot allow this ourselves to just accept the fact that this is now a part of daily regular life. We have to do something, and we have to get active, whether that means for some people politically, for some people helping, whether it's with mental health activism. We have to be active. We have to be aware, and we can't allow it to ever. It always has to be uncomfortable, and it always has to hurt.
Well, moving the segment along, I just want y'all to know a little behind the scenes. Normally, we record mid to late in the week, and this week we're recording on Monday. So this is the day right after the tragedy. We're recording on Monday because I'm actually going to be in LA on Tuesday and Wednesday, and that messes up the schedule. So if there's other news that happens or there's other things, just give us some grace.
Yeah, sorry.
We're recording at the wrong spot this week.
And like Eddie said, we're making I was emailing with Andre and the team. We were emailing last night about some, making sure that we have coverage. And so, stay tuned to the site for more. And yeah, it's kind of an awkward time for us to record, given that you won't hear it for days after this is done. But
all right, well, in case you missed it, this week, Denzel Washington said he's given up drinking to focus on God.
This was an interesting story.
Yeah, the actor was doing an interview about his new drama, Roman J. Israel Esquire.
Yeah, I saw the preview for that.
Yeah?
It looks good.
When the interview with a Christian Post reporter suddenly turned to his faith and trying to reach millennials, the 62-year-old actor said, "My mother said to me when I was 59, she said, Denzel, you do a lot of good. You have to do good the right way, and you know what I'm talking about. I don't drink anymore. I don't do any of those things. I'm all about the message. You have to be unafraid and unashamed to share it in the way your millennial generation knows how." He said that social media and technology trends have recently taken some darker, more negative directions, but it's important to recognize their effects on us and use them for good. He said, "We better understand that we are addicted to this," he said, holding up a phone. "It's not its fault. It's a magnification and a reflection of our own free will. I pray for your generation. What an opportunity you have. Don't be depressed by it because we have to go through this. We're here now. You can't put that thing back in the box." And then he went on to talk about how great it'd be to have metal fingertips.
He's like, if this generation only had magnetic fingertips, we wouldn't fall into the trap of social media.
And he had a brand new app that he was trying pretty hard to promote.
Then he asked the reporter.
That appeared, though, he hadn't put a lot of time into it.
Then he asked the reporter, he said, "What's one random question?" The reporter was like, "You think it'd be cool to have a tail?" And he's like, "That's brilliant."
Yeah. Let's workshop that.
Hey, in case you missed it, Kendrick Lamar preached his own version of the Beatitudes on the new U2 track. So U2 released a track, Get Out of Your Way, off their upcoming album, Songs of Experience, last week. And it featured another collaboration with the acclaimed rapper. U2 previously appeared on Kendrick's song XXX. At the end of the song, Kendrick preaches a tongue-in-cheek take on Jesus' Beatitudes, pointing out the hypocrisies of modern cultural values with lines like, "Blessed are the arrogant, for theirs is the kingdom of their own company." Here's a clip.
Blessed Blessed are the arrogant, for theirs the kingdom of their own company. Blessed are the superstars, for the magnificence in their light, we understand better our own insignificance. Blessed are the filthy rich, for you can only truly own what you give away, like your pain.
So when Kendrick makes up Bible stuff, it's awesome. When I do it, I get emails.
Right. I love Kendrick.
Yes.
But man, I'm not feeling that new U2 song. It makes me sad.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to worry about it. Kendrick's still Kendrick, even though he appeared with U2.
There's some affection between them, though. Like Kendrick, again, I think Kendrick is progressive and arguably one of the most important artists making music today. And I think U2's days are their best days are long behind them.
They put on a great show, but they were wise in doing the Joshua Tree tour this past year versus new stuff.
People are interested in U2 for what they did, not what they are doing, where it's the exact opposite with Kendrick.
Interesting.
Real interesting.
In case you missed it, this week, several high-profile NFL owners are being deposed in the Colin Kaepernick collusion case. The former 49ers quarterback and current NFL free agent recently filed a grievance against the NFL, claiming that teams were colluding against him to prevent him from signing with a team. Obviously, he was the one who started the kneeling protests and stuff, and so he feels like he's been blacklisted. If it can be proven true, it would be a violation of the league's collective bargaining agreement. Now, several of the league's biggest names are being forced to hand over emails, text messages, and information related to Kaepernick. Oh, wow. Among those being deposed are Cowboys owner Jerry Jones, Patriots owner Robert Kraft, Texans owner Bob McNair, who's nobody's a fan of right now.
Yeah.
Seahawks owner Paul Allen and Seahawks coach Pete Carroll. Carroll notably worked out Kaepernick over the summer and said he believes he is a starter in this league. Ultimately, the team didn't sign him. This is going to get interesting.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if there's a written exchange between Paul Allen or any of those guys, but particularly Pete Carroll, who did a workout with Kaepernick as a backup, as a viable backup for Russell Wilson, but if it comes out that the team owner didn't want to sign him because he was afraid of the
protests,
that is collusion. And if some of these owners are all texting and emailing about it, Kaepernick could be not only could he be signed, but he could also win quite a settlement if they can prove lost wages. And good for him, because he's I don't feel like he's just doing this to try to work again. He's trying to expose what looks to be like potentially corruption at the highest levels of the National Football League.
Racial bias. I think history is going to look back very favorably on Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. And it's getting harder and harder to watch and support the NFL. And I hate saying that because it's like fun to watch football, but it is just turning into like morally objectionable to this.
I mean, we're veering into the relevant is doing a sports podcast territory. This is a hot take that Jesse had this week.
Yeah.
Jesse and Sam Macho and
I mean,
Steve
hey,
Carter.
not to plug again, Eddie, but it's the headline making. They actually, the Chicago Tribune did a write up about the last episode of the show related to
this issue.
Sam and I's comments about Bob McNair and his comments. And remember, like the morally objectionable part of the NFL. I mean, there are lots of things to be concerned about, but what you're referencing here, Eddie, remember it's at the top. Remember, this is players versus owners. So if you're choosing to boycott the league or not watch football, obviously that's your right as a fan and a TV viewer. But remember, the players are the ones out there on the field. The players are the one who have decided to take the platform that they've been given and use it to expose injustice. So it's not as black and white as something as I'm going to boycott because I think what the owners are doing are morally objectionable.
You know what you could do? You could just buy Pizza Hut instead of Papa John's.
Yeah,
but
it's also not just this. It's also all of the like how they treat the health issues of players and stuff.
Right.
I'm not saying I'm out. I'm just saying like
no, you're right.
The shine is definitely off the NFL.
100%.
It's back to like getting into the NBA again or trying.
Yes.
I'm back.
In case you missed it, Bon Iver's Justin Vernon surprised a fan with a private performance, and it was incredible. As part of the new one-to-one video series, hand-selected fans are chosen to be an audience of one for a performance of their favorite band. The entire thing is a surprise to the fan, who's selected from a music festival audience and is blindfolded and put into a room. Once there, the fan is treated to a private mini-concert by one of their favorite artists. Justin Vernon played the song Bon Iver 8, Circle, and it was awesome. Here's a clip.
I will steal and rob.
have to crawl, still can't stop along the fence. One more time, just pass me back. I'm gonna make it happen now. Oh, that wish. Carry your love along. Now I'm
That would be my hell. That would be so
awkward. It is
uncomfortable.
Plus, the moment someone says, "Hey, let me blindfold you and take you to a room," is the moment I begin hitting and swinging, using emergency words, fighting, doing whatever I have to do.
And then take the blindfold off, and like Drake is standing there to like rap at me. No, thank you.
Like, hello.
You know, like, yeah, this would not be.
Who is it more comfortable? Who is it more uncomfortable for, the artist or the person? Because I feel like at least the artist, you have like it's with Justin Vernon, he's playing an acoustic guitar, so he can at least look down at his fingers. If you're the person, where are you looking?
Right.
The only place to look is right in their eyes. Cameron, I know that anyone that we're in music journalism, right?
Yeah.
Anyone that has done this job long enough has ended up in a situation where they're in a closed, confined space with an artist, and they're like, "Hey, man, you got to hear my new track."
Yeah.
And they put it on, and so you're sitting like on a couch together, or you're sitting in like a closed office together, and they put it on, and you suddenly become aware instantly. Am I looking at them at the eyes while this song is playing? Am I staring blankly into a wall? There's no good place to look because they're looking at you.
I've been in this situation way too many times. Here's what you do. You got to kind of look down at the table as though you're really intently listening.
Right.
Almost half the song, your eyes are even closed.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And they're like, oh, he's really into it.
Right.
And then like you look up at the end and be like, oh man, that was amazing. Dude, thank you so much.
Right. So you know the whole time they're staring at your face looking for the slightest twitch.
Right.
You know?
That's what I'm saying. But that's different from a concert because you have to be looking at him as he's playing the song
what
at
are you doing these? I mean, really, like she's just, I saw the picture. Like, it's just, they're just staring at each other.
Oh, it's the worst.
It's like, and what do you clap? Like clap during the song, or you're kind of swaying along like Katy Perry's there doing swish swish, and you're kind of just dancing along, or what do you do?
Is there any artist who would be good at it? Like, is there a musician who could really put you at ease and be like, "Hey, I know this is weird. Let's just get we both. You have to be here. I have to be here. Let's just get through this." And it would be like, then you'd be like, "Oh, okay, I can deal with this for 3 or 4 songs."
I gotta say,
can answer you.
I can answer you too, Jesse. I'm sure we have the same answer. You want to just say it on 3?
1,
2, 3.
The guy that plays saxophone without a saxophone.
Hey, your arms were pretty close.
Go back and listen if you guys don't get that joke. It is
almost the same answer.
And lastly, in case you missed it, this week Ben Affleck made a huge announcement. He announced that he would be following the footsteps of filmmaker Kevin Smith by donating all of his future residual checks from movies he made with Miramax and the Weinstein Company because of the recent revelations of repeated sexual abuse by film mogul Harvey Weinstein. Affleck collaborated with the Weinstein-affiliated companies for films including Good Will Hunting, Gone Baby Gone, and The Company Men. I mean, big films.
Yeah.
He explained to a Fox 5 reporter in L.A., "I just didn't want to cash any more checks from the guy. It was Kevin's idea. I thought it was a good one, and I hope it catches on. Some people probably couldn't afford to give all those residuals away, but even if you're doing 10%, that's something. The donations will go to an organization that supports independent film, as well as the anti-sexual assault organization RAINN, RAINN. Affleck himself recently issued an apology after actress Hillary Burton revealed that Affleck groped her during an appearance on MTV's TRL in 2003.
Yes.
My goodness. I mean...
Yeah, and similar news, Kevin Spacey will be in a charity golf tournament next weekend. And now it's all okay.
It's so weird.
Well, I don't.
So weird.
I mean, I don't think it's okay, but I do think it's.
No, I don't think it's okay either. I think I was being sarcastic and it didn't work.
Big time sarcastic. I could see the look in his eyes.
Yeah. I mean, obviously you're being sarcastic, but I'm saying like he's giving money that he made with someone. It doesn't make anything he's done better, and it doesn't mean that if you choose not to support his work anymore. That isn't the right call. But I think the idea of people that get residuals from movies that were made with Harvey Weinstein, giving those away if they can do it is a positive thing.
Yes, that is a good thing.
It sends a message,
yes.
For sure. All right, well, that'll do it for In Case You Missed It. Stay tuned. Up next, Slices.
I'm just sitting here remembering how your lips taste night, another stranger's door. Hoping when it opens, I'll see you.
You're listening to Kygo. The song is I See You, featuring Billy Raffle. You, Billy Raffle. At the beginning of the podcast, you heard Social Club Misfits with their new single, Say Goodbye. That was a dope track. Well, this week's Slices segment is brought to you by HelloFresh, a meal kit delivery service that shops, plans, and delivers your favorite step-by-step recipes and pre-measured ingredients so you can just cook, eat, and enjoy. HelloFresh makes it easy to cook delicious, balanced dinners for less than $10 a meal. No more time-consuming meal planning or grocery shopping. You can enjoy not having to plan dinner, spending money on takeout for an easy night, or worry about gathering ingredients week after week. With HelloFresh, you can choose your delivery day for when it works best for your busy schedule, and you can even pause the account for weeks at a time when you're out of town. I actually did that. I went and looked at my fall travel schedule, and I paused a few weeks coming up because I wouldn't be there for the majority of the week, and I didn't want to, waste the meals.
It's a good feature.
All the ingredients. All of HelloFresh's ingredients come in pre-measured in handy labeled meal kits, so you know which ingredients go with which recipe, and it's delivered right to your door in recyclable insulated packaging. HelloFresh offers a wide variety of chef-curated recipes that change weekly, and there are 3 plans to choose from: Classic, Veggie, and Family. Right now, HelloFresh is offering Relevant Podcast listeners a special deal. For $30 off your first week of HelloFresh, visit HelloFresh.com/relevant and enter Relevant30. That is HelloFresh.com/relevant, and then enter offer code Relevant30. Get $30 off your first meal. You'll like it. All right, it's time for Slices. What do you have, Jesse?
All right, well, we kind of teased this one a little bit, and in case you missed it, about a Twitter war that broke out this week between 2 very well-known pizza brands. The first one is a brand that had made headlines for what seems like incredibly stupid comments coming from Papa John himself, the guy who owns Papa John's. Their sales are down, their stock has plummeted recently, and he's blaming it on basically his implication was that it's because of the NFL protest and because the NFL owners aren't cracking down more, people aren't buying Papa John pizzas, which is absurd.
Yeah, totally makes sense.
Yeah, because Papa John's is evidently, if you were to ask me before this, who's the official pizza of the NFL? I would have I could have blindly guessed, any guess.
I would have said Papa John's because of all the Peyton Manning commercials.
I know it's Peyton Manning, but I didn't know that it was a league affiliation. I know that Peyton Manning is a spokesperson, but if Dan Marino showed up in pizza commercials, I wouldn't think that they have any necessarily.
Dan Marino is Nutrisystem for men.
But is Nutrislim or Nutrisystem the official dietary meal replacement liquid of the NFL? Like, I wouldn't think that. I wouldn't know. I mean, maybe they are. And the other thing is too, even if they were, does anyone before they buy a product be like, hang on, is this the official pizza of the NFL? I think it's so stupid, like the official sponsors. Oh, Michelin. Okay, this is the official tire of the NBA. I'm definitely buying that one because tires are somehow related to the sport I like. It's totally dumb, and it was a really bad take, and it's cost them because their stock has dropped even more since they said it. But that's not the real story. The real story is how DiGiorno poked them into a hilarious Twitter fight. It was only hilarious on one side. It was hilarious on the DiGiorno's pizza side. So for those who don't know, DiGiorno is the frozen bake 'em at home pizzas, which are pretty cheap and they're not too bad. My only thing is with their slogan, it's not delivery, it's DiGiorno.
Yeah.
Because you know how many families, someone has come out of the kitchen with a DiGiorno pizza and someone mistook it for a delivery? Zero. It is it has never happened where someone be like, where'd you get this pizza delivered from? And it's not delivery, it's DiGiorno. It has never happened in the history of DiGiorno's pizza.
Right. Because everybody's like, yeah, I know, because I heard the oven beep, and then
I heard you preheating the oven for like 25 minutes.
I literally made one for Cohen last night, and he was like, oh, it's not bad. Like, it's not bad, you never would have thought this is, Papa John's.
And he knew nobody came to the door. He never heard a doorbell ring. Like, he's a very smart child.
It's a bad slogan, but I give it to them because they didn't just throw shade. They went cold. They went straight up mean. Their first tweet was a pizza. It was just emoticons, and it was a pizza one. It was a little pizza symbol with a stock symbol going up, and it said us. And then it was one that said them. It was a pizza slice with a stock plummeting.
Great
and
joke.
It said them.
Great joke.
Then they go, because they're going right for the jugular here.
Yeah,
This isn't playing around. This is like when you get when you're joking around with a buddy about something and they get super personal instantly, and it's like, whoa, take a step back. You didn't have to say.
Tyler,
you have to bring
are
the
you-
family into it.
Tyler, are you going to bring up what happened this week, or am I?
What? What happened?
What happened this week?
Pretty rough conversation between two very, very well-known podcast celebrities.
Really?
Yes.
On Twitter?
On Twitter.
I don't even know about this. You're breaking news.
Tyler, you were right in the middle of it. It's me and Prop.
I was. Oh, I'm sorry, Eddie. That was so boring that I just forgot.
A lot of shade being thrown back and forth between me and propaganda.
About what?
Now I do remember.
Oh,
that-
you're just likening yourself to DiGiorno and Papa
I'm
John's?
just being dumb. I wrote the best tweet of all time, and Prop then began to tell me how not funny I was. And,
What, was it the one where you didn't know the phrase?
Yeah, I used a real minor version of a very popular phrase. It wasn't quite wrong.
What was the
It's just-
phrase?
Tyler, would you do this? Because I'm too embarrassed.
I know this is all you brought this up. Don't bring me into this. I don't want to be part of this.
Eddie, time to own it. You interrupted my slice right when it's getting good. This better be good.
Yeah, hold on. Let me pause and you finish your slice, and then I'll bring it back up
His
at the end.
pizza slice.
Yeah, please.
Yeah,
no,
this
see?
is the pizza slice.
Excellent joke, Dad.
See, that's the
so-
sort of stuff that Eddie, I wish, was delivering on Twitter.
Delivering like this pizza slice.
Okay. All
The
right, don't
joke
push
I
your
made
luck.
was, I guess you could say Tyrese has put himself between the rock and a hard spot.
Yeah, that's right. Where there's
Now,
a
let's
beef.
pause.
There's a beef between The Rock and Tyrese. Now they've squashed it apparently,
Right.
and you chimed in with this
Right.
timely between
Two
The
days
Rock
after
and a
this.
hard spot.
Right, which is not necessarily, typically it's a hard place. And Tyler pointed that out,
Yeah.
and I owned up to that. And then that's when propaganda got in and said, "You're so funny on the podcast, but as soon as you open Twitter, you're not funny."
That's not even
Wow.
shade. That's just like that's like an administrator
It was
sitting
really
you down
mean.
saying you smell and you're boring.
Yeah, because
That's him not going for the quality of your pizza. That's them going straight for your stock plummet and laughing about it.
because one, I reject the premise. I don't think I'm that funny on the show. Two, when I open up Twitter, he's wrong. I'm very funny, and I realize I messed up the metaphor, but it was still probably the greatest joke of this year.
It would have been if you got the phrase right.
Right, but I
Cameron,
own up.
we'll agree to disagree on that one, Cameron.
All right. Anyhow, back to pizza.
So
Back to the pizza slice.
once again, they got no reaction there. So then they played off of Papa John's slogan, and they made it better pizza, better sales. Still nothing from Papa
They're
John's.
just trolling Papa John's.
Then they did an emergency update. And they used every character left in the tweet to do nothing but stock plummeting emoticons to fill up the whole block.
Goodness.
Over 100.
Wow.
Just to goat Papa John's into attempting to make a comeback, which they did by changing their Twitter bio to so Papa John's at this point hasn't tweeted any response, and everyone is retweeting DiGiorno's laughing about how savage they are. And this is Papa John's response to briefly change their Twitter bio to the lamest insult ever. I don't even see how it's an insult. Here's what their Twitter bio said: frozen pizza equal the equivalent of a participation trophy. Is that even an insult? What are they trying to say there? Like,
They need to hire a Wendy's social media person or something.
Burger King or anybody.
Yeah, anybody.
Anybody.
I mean, when you're Papa John's, you need to have a sense of humor about yourself. I mean, come on.
Denny's.
Exactly.
Their Twitter is
and again,
right.
like, what's with everyone dragging on participation trophies? Like, who cares? Some kids get trophies because they participated in the league. That's not quite as big as the one of the kids who won. Who cares? And why is that equivalent of frozen pizza? What kind of insult is that?
I would think people who are pizza fans would say that Papa John's is the equivalent of a participation trophy.
I mean,
it's just kind of like
I'll
fine,
take it if
but
it's free, but it's not good.
Yeah. It's not
You know
good
that one
pizza.
came from Papa John himself. Like, he was like, I got this one. He chased all the interns away from the social media. It was like, leave it to a master.
2 minutes, he's like, doo on his phone, and then he just slams it down and he slides it over to the team's arm cross. Peyton Manning immediately slaps him in the face and walks out of the room. And like, I'm done here.
I do have a real question though about how it works within DiGiorno, because I think of like, did the company already, because it's a big company, there's whole, like, they hire people to do social. Did they already have a plan in place that they're like, if there's a moment to throw hardcore shade at these brands, we're pre-authorized? Or does somebody who's sitting there manning the Twitter account go, got it, picks up the phone, calls?
I think as a 24-year-old whose job it is, I mean, the power that the social media kid has at these corporations to boost the brand, to get ardent fans behind them. I mean, it's a lot of power, and there's a lot of like marketing strategies and all this stuff. And I think like they just kind of said they hired this 24-year-old kid to like run the social media, and that kid is changing the game.
But do you think that's really how it happens?
Yeah, I don't think
because this is like the public face of them.
That's what I'm saying. But like, I don't think they see it like that. They see ad campaigns and all this other stuff, and social media is this side thing.
Yeah,
and I just think they don't realize the power of social media, and I love it.
I do too, and
then you see like the positive impact that like the irreverent approach that Denny's and Wendy's and them have, and I guess the brands are just more loose with it now. They're like, okay, go for it,
Yeah, it's working,
It's working.
That's how we got Spencer, the relevant social media intern, my nephew, who's done a great job so far. He's just ready with all the clapbacks whenever Christianity Today comes out swinging. He's like, I got this one ready to go, guys. He's 12.
So the final one was DiGiorno. Well, they've had a bunch since then, but my favorite was they put up a poll after all of this, because first they talked about how their mentions were so up, so they're going to use the platform now. They put up a poll, what pizza are you getting this weekend? And the options were DiGiorno, 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 DiGiorno. DiGiorno won with 48% of the vote. So good job, DiGiorno.
Good job, DiGiorno.
There you go.
And thank you, Spencer, for your hard work.
And thank you for that pizza slice,
and Papa John, thanks for the lame participation joke. Real zinger you got there, guy. Real zinger.
What do you have, Tyler?
Okay, so over in the UK this week, the Google was flying, taking some pictures for Google Earth when they noticed there was a cornfield out in the middle of England that had Sue, the letters SUE, Sue, spelled out in what can only be described as it's like 5 acres that somebody has mowed Sue into this lot, kind of like the old, you can imagine like the extraterrestrial symbols that made a craze like in the 60s, like nobody knew what it was, but instead it's just the letter Sue.
Crop circle.
Right. So this part, it's Sue, and then it was the letter X after it. And this obviously spread a lot of like widespread, what's going on? Who is Sue? Why is Sue's name written down in the middle of a cornfield? Are the aliens getting more intelligent? Is this a way they think that people communicate with each other? Or is this like somebody's like sign of like they're in love and they're hoping Sue sees this and just kind of like puts the message together, puts the rest of it together on her own? Well, it turns out that that there was a explanation behind this that, to me, when I found out what really happened, it raises a lot more questions than answers. It turns out that, according to the BBC, a farmer named Murray Graham created the message for his wife as a way of apologizing for being, quote, grumpy. His son George said, I suppose Dad wanted to express his love in the most creative way he could, which in this case was writing Sue into a cornfield. A photo of the message then was posted to a Twitter page, and it was shared 600,000 times. You could even see it from space. The satellites were able to pick up images of it. So he really went all out in terms of the size, but all it said was Sue's name, and there was an X at the end of it. He told BBC, quote, I'm not quite as grumpy and old as perhaps I make out occasionally. That's why I did it.
That was him showing his whimsy.
Yeah, So that's his like big grand gesture. And I think we've all...
And now she's all mad because he mowed down like a third of the crop. And now...
That was my thought. So they tried to get his wife on the phone. She was not having it. George said that his dad has been, quote, in the doghouse after, quote, not pulling his weight at home. And he said, I don't know if what he's done is sufficient appeasement for Mom, but it's caused a stir on social media.
All she wanted was him to do the dishes. You know, like we just help out around the house, and he's out there mowing down the crops instead of just doing what she asked.
And who would think that gesture is cool? Who would be like, oh, everything everything's cool now. You wasted an entire day carving my name into a cornfield. Like, that does nothing for me.
Gee, thank you.
That's an excellent point.
It's a really good picture of how these fights tend to go.
While you were out there in the crops is, nobody dusted.
Yeah.
And nobody vacuumed.
It's like, thanks, a
Yeah.
big present that I would have never wanted nor asked for.
This
So
is a
And
great
it's
idea.
so big they can see it from space. That's
From
amazing.
space.
All right.
Andy spelled her name wrong.
What do you have, Eddie?
No, that's not true. Well, I've got a pretty great size, but for it, Chandler, I'll need my music.
Oh, nice. Okay.
By chance, do you recognize this song?
Debbie Gibson.
No, pretty close. It's from a very famous movie about dancing. Do you know what it is?
I do.
No. Go ahead, Jesse.
It's Footloose.
From Footloose, New Yorkers can now legally dance again.
What?
Since 1920-something, I don't have the date right in front of me, but, numbers have never been my thing. There has been a law on the books prohibiting public dancing in spaces unless you have what is considered a cabaret license. The law dates back to Prohibition and was actually used to, it was for terrible means. There was a guy that did a documentary about it, but yes, thank God, you got to get rid of the music. I'm too into it.
It's very distracting. I'm not going to lie.
So it was actually understood that this cabaret law was implemented in order to keep white people and black people from intermingling and dancing together.
Why didn't you just play the song Footloose, by the way?
I told him to play this song. I like it.
Okay,
I like it better.
better.
He
Okay.
would have probably played Footloose, but I just like this song.
Footloose.
Because this is, let's hear it for the boys. This is the scene where Kevin Bacon is teaching
I've never seen it.
The farmer. Hey, you've never seen it?
Why would I see it?
Because it's a good movie and you're alive?
I don't know.
I would say it's a movie. It's a movie, that's for sure.
I love it. I think it's
Like,
great.
in what social scenario is the person going, hey, we should watch Footloose? You know what I mean? Like, I've never been in a situation where, I wasn't the correct age when it came out. And then, there's no point later where
that's
it's
right.
like,
I always forget 80s to mid 90s are a zero sum for you. Like, you didn't really come into it until after you left the house.
yeah, that's true.
So this would have all been you would have had no reason. Well, anyhow, there's a scene in Footloose where Kevin Bacon, who is the main character, teaches some other country guy
Isn't
how
there
to
something
dance.
where she dumps a bucket of water on her on a chair?
No, that is Flashdance.
Oh, that's Flashdance.
Ooh,
Yeah.
can we play the Flashdance? What if can we play the Flashdance theme song at the end of this? I'll tell you one at a time. Cameron, you find it, or
Okay.
Chandler. What's the difference?
I think you're conflating both the horror film, as Tyler referenced, Carrie, Footloose, Dirty Dancing, and what was the other one?
No, Footloose. I haven't mixed them up.
I think, I never saw any of the movies you just said.
What a feeling. From Flashdance. What a good song.
I never saw Dirty Dancing either. That was very forbidden.
I need to tell you something.
What?
And we're going to get a lot of heat from this.
Okay.
Not that great a movie.
Really?
Yeah, I did not like it. And
I don't think we're going to get a lot. We're not going to get a lot of heat.
No.
That's a hot take. Sizzling hot. Nobody
I
here
think you
take his
overestimate.
take.
Yeah,
there.
nobody puts baby in a
maybe
corner.
this is the lack of a female cast member, the temporary lack of a female cast member. Maybe the female perspective is that it was a great movie. And it's just, here's a bunch of guys talking about Dirty Dancing.
I could see how that's true, but Footloose is a rad movie. And objectively, I
Really?
think everybody likes Footloose.
Everybody.
I like Footloose.
I mean,
I'm a fan.
all white people like Footloose.
There you go.
Hey, but Footloose is there or is there not an extended montage where the rebellious Kevin Bacon just can't take the conservative oppression in his small town that he runs to the abandoned warehouse to do an intricate dance choreography all by himself, Eddie?
Yeah, that's exactly what happens.
Okay, that is definitely an all white people like this movie kind of a movie.
all of them basically do.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure he's got like a midriff cut off t-shirt at the time, and it's very gymnastic dancing, but that for him is the ultimate expression of rebellion, is dancing in the old abandoned warehouse.
Yeah, but what if you weren't allowed to dance? Right? I mean, if they told you can't dance,
All right.
how can you even live?
That's like
I
telling
cannot.
Jesse he can't do complicated math. It's just like,
yeah, it's like,
Okay.
darn,
Oh,
man,
I really
really
wouldn't.
got me there, old John Lithgow.
Jesse, in your context, John Lithgow is in the movie. He was the dad in the movie.
I liked it better when not knowing that.
Yeah,
I
you
liked
just
the
thought it was a
reference,
super
It works
strange
either.
character actor
Eddie, see,
reference.
that's a joke that works either way. Not like a rock and a whatever
Hard
metaphor.
spot.
We need to pause this rock and a hard spot conversation until propaganda's back on, because I love him, but we have a problem. But listen, so this law was actually a pretty racist law to keep white people and black people from intermingling and dancing together in Harlem jazz bars.
Oh.
So it had these.
Whoa, so it wasn't like public dancing. This was in establishments as well.
Yes, this was. You do not dance unless you have.
How were any like dance clubs open?
They had to get what was called a cabaret license, and it was a really hard license to get. And a lot of people never got the license because the law was only sporadically enforced, and it was pretty much enforced even as recently as in the Giuliani era to basically for like under extreme racial bias. There was a whole documentary done on this ridiculous rule. But this is like one of those laws that's in the books. Like you always see those like tweets about like old silly laws that existed that nobody can.
Yeah, horses can't eat cereals on Wednesday.
All that kind of stuff.
Like,
but this was sort of like one of those laws that every once in a while would get brought back up in order to basically be.
I literally just Googled it. There is a website called dumblaws.com.
Yes,
dumblaws.com. And they literally just list out state by state the dumbest laws in those states.
Right. Well, by a vote of like 49-1 or something like that, the city commission overturned it, and now it is okay to dance anywhere you want at any time in New York, including on the street. You can tap your feet, you can nod your head, you can even dance to the Flashdance song. Let's hear it. Shh. Just give it through the first 16 measures until it really breaks in. Get ready. Now,
can you feel it? That was the point where the water dropped.
This is the water one?
Right at that moment.
Oh, how do you know that?
Because I'm watching the video.
Oh.
Yeah. We watch the movie every night.
Cameron, have you found any dumb laws you'd like to share with us?
But do not stop this song.
Too many. No, literally.
In Florida, doors of all public buildings must open outward. Like, who put that law in the books?
Weird.
You know, or... And then women may be fined for falling asleep under a hairdryer, as can the salon owner. Why would I get fined for? I feel like, look, again, you guys know my libertarian leanings. If I want to fall asleep under any head equipment, that's well within my. I'm an American. This is in North Korea. I can fall asleep under a hairdryer if I want to. Okay, it's a warm sensation and it's very relaxing. Hey, did you know it's illegal also in Florida to sing in a public place while attired in a swimsuit?
Did you know that in Florida, the penalty for horse theft is death by hanging?
Oh my God.
Still.
And then what are you going to do with the horse?
Also, it is illegal to
is that
skateboard.
for the person or the horse?
It is illegal to skateboard without a license. That's what it says.
Really?
How is that even enforceable? What kind of a license would you...
Yeah, where do you get this?
Where do you get the skateboarding license?
In Mississippi, it is illegal to teach others what polygamy is. Just having a knowledge of polygamy is against the law. Like, it's not a law against polygamy. It's a law against actually defining the word.
In New York, the penalty for jumping off a building is death. The death penalty.
That's what it says. Mississippi, cattle rustling. I don't even know what that is. Like, at what point is the cattle rustled is punishable by hanging? That's why I don't go near cows, because I don't want to be in violation of that.
There's an actual law in New York. Slippers are not to be worn after 10 p.m.
Now, that one makes sense.
Right. You need to be in bed
Jack
by then.
Donaghy put that in the books.
Well, and who wears slippers?
In New York, actual law, a fine of $25 can be levied for flirting. That probably was put in place because construction workers and stuff. I don't know.
No, that actually, that seems good. Yeah. 25 seems a little low, though.
A little light, yeah. In Idaho, you may not fish on a camel's back.
You know that was because of one incident. One guy, something bad happened while I was fishing on a camel's back, and they're like, listen, this can never happen again. This has to be explicitly clear in the law.
Also in Idaho, riding a merry-go-round on Sundays is considered a crime.
In Ohio, it is illegal to get a fish drunk, which, I mean, I don't know how you would go about. I don't know how you go about doing that.
If they're going to keep reading this, can I give you more songs to fade in and out?
It is illegal
in Arkansas. Last one in Arkansas. It's strictly prohibited to pronounce Arkansas incorrectly. There is a law that says it. Like Arkansas. So there you go. All right. Well, that'll do it for Slices. Stay tuned. Up next, Katie Davis Majors joins us.
You didn't even call to wish me sweet dreams. Really thought we made a sweet team. But don't cry.
listening to Borns with the little line through it. Bjorn's. I don't know. The song is Sweet Dreams. Well, this week's feature interview is brought to you by ZipRecruiter. Are you hiring? Do you know where to post your job to find the best candidates? What if hiring could be easier, more streamlined, and less time-consuming? So even when you're busy, you could still be smart about the way you hire. With ZipRecruiter, you can post your job to over 100 of the web's leading job boards with just one click. Then ZipRecruiter puts its smart matching technology to work, actively notifying qualified candidates about your job within minutes of posting, so you receive the best possible matches. That's why ZipRecruiter is different. Unlike other hiring sites, ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on the right candidates finding you, it finds them. No wonder 80% of employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site in just one day. Find out today why ZipRecruiter has been used by businesses of all sizes and industries to find the most qualified job candidates with immediate results. And right now, Relevant Podcast listeners can post jobs on ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/relevant. That's ZipRecruiter.com/relevant. One more time to try it for free. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/relevant. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Katie Davis Majors is a missionary, activist, and author whose latest book, Daring to Hope, recently became a New York Times bestseller.
Oh, I've heard of this.
While still in her 20s, Katie moved to Uganda, where she would go on to adopt 14 children and start the organization Amazima Ministries that cares for vulnerable children and families in the country. Imagine that. In your 20s, Katie adopts 14 children.
She's incredible.
She's incredible. She's now married. Big family.
That's got to be a funny day. Like, hey, there's probably something you need to know about me.
Yeah.
Before we go much further,
I went to a Christian university. They said some weird stuff to me.
I have kids. I have 14.
I think it'd be fun to have a tail. I often wonder about life with magnetic fingers. I got 14 kids. So, 14, what's up with you? What's your take on the tail?
And you're gonna have to move to Uganda. So anyway,
we recently spoke with Katie about the book and how everyday people can change the world. Here is Katie Davis Majors.
If you don't mind reflecting a little bit, I'm sure you've been thinking about this a lot lately, expectations to reality from what you thought it might be like 10 years ago to 10 years later, looking back on all that's happened, what are the biggest changes or the biggest differences between what you thought it'd be like and what it's actually been like?
Sure. I think honestly, when I first moved here, I didn't think that I would still be here in 10 years.
Well, sure.
I was really surprised when I moved over here on a 1-year commitment to know that 10 years later I would be here with a huge family and a husband and a growing ministry. None of that was really ever in my plan, I guess. When I moved here, I had intended to stay here for a year to teach kindergarten. And so a lot has changed in 10 years. In that first year that I was here was really when I noticed just the need for more family support. A lot of kids here are unnecessarily institutionalized due to just lack of finances from their parents or guardians. And so I was working at an orphanage and seeing a lot of kids being taken into the orphanage that really had parents and relatives who cared about them a lot, but just didn't have the financial means to provide for them. And so after a lot of thought and prayer, that's how Amazima was born, just out of a desire to come alongside families and support them with their financial needs. One of the biggest financial needs here is definitely paying for school, because school isn't free. So that's a big one that we help with, as well as some medical care and some nutritional support when needed. But even then, 10 years ago, I first started helping with 2 little girls and then 4 and then maybe 10 children. So I never thought we'd be where we are now. We have over 600 children in our sponsorship program. And then just last year, we opened a secondary school that has 70 students this year, and that'll grow by 70 students every year until it's at capacity with about 500. And even to say that, I kind of feel like, well, I'll be 10 years down the road from where I am today and thinking the exact same thing. And then as far as expectations, it's funny. It sounds kind of silly and maybe a bit naive to say it, but I do really think I moved here with a bit of a mentality of I'm going to help people, and I'm going to change things. And I think the longer and longer I've lived here, and maybe just the older I've gotten, it's like the more you know that you don't know. I think just, the more the Lord has grown me, the more I see how truly I have to lean into Him for the answers, and that there's nothing about this that is me changing anybody's life or me saving anything, but more that, God has been gracious to grow me, to allow me to make mistakes and also to refine me through those mistakes.
There's what you're doing is obviously unusual. It's not something that everybody is going to be called to or is practically going to be able to do. But based just on your experience, for people who are considering going overseas, even for just a season, even if it's not for 10 years, what are just some practical things that you've learned in your time that you feel like would be helpful, things you wish you had known when you started out?
That's a great question. I think I would just say commit to be a learner. I think so often we feel like we need to put ourselves in the position of teacher or leader or helper, and just commit to be a learner. I wish I had asked so many more questions. I just think there's so much we can learn from the people that we think we are coming to serve. And especially if you're moving or going to spend time in a different culture, there's so much to be learned. So that would be my number one tip, is just commit to be a learner. Learn the language, learn the culture, always assume that you do not know, and always ask the local people or the people you're serving to tell you. And I was very blessed when I first moved here to live with a Ugandan family, and they were quick to tell me all the things that I was doing wrong. But I'm really thankful for that experience, because I feel like it's given me a knowledge of the culture that I wouldn't have had otherwise if I didn't have to kind of submit myself to this family that I was living with and live their lifestyle. I also think, it's similar, but just go with open hands. You never know where the Lord might lead you or what He might show you, and it might be quite a bit different than what you thought.
What was it about the idea for Daring to Hope that made you feel like, yes, this is the book that I want to write? This is the message that I want to put into the next book.
I've been journaling. I mean, I always write. I just have been writing for myself and not for anybody else. And I feel like God just kind of slowly was speaking this big message of hope to me, and teaching me about who He was, when no one else was looking, and who He was when there were no accolades or no applause and nobody was saying, "Oh, you're so amazing." I wish I could do what you were doing. I feel like God was speaking to me that He still saw our family and He still saw us serving Him, and that grew my trust in Him so much. And I did. We went through a pretty dark season where several good friends of ours died, and I did really wrestle with God and who He was and His goodness that I had kind of always just blindly believed in. And I felt like I needed to figure out if that was true for me. So just a year and a half, maybe a little over that, year and a half ago, I felt like God really kind of just impressed upon me, like, hey, this message that I've been teaching you all these years, 6 years, this isn't just for you, and it's time to share it.
That was Katie Davis Majors. Stay tuned. Up next, the band Joseph joins us.
One time for the Lord, and one time for the cause, and one round of applause, one time for Fraser T. Smith on the chords. I think we got one. I stay prayed up, then I get the job done. Yeah, I'm Abigail's youth, but I'm God's son. But I'm up now, look at what God's done. No, real talk, look at what God did. On the main stage, running around topless. I phone flips, then I tell him that we got this. This is God's plan, they can never stop this. Like, wait right there, could you stop my verse? You saved this kid and I'm not your first. It's not by blood and it's not by birth, but oh my God, what a God I serve.
You're listening to Stormzy featuring Neck. Okay, listen, the song is Blinded by Your Grace Part 2. This song, when you hear the whole thing, it's crazy. Stormzy is, the top dude in the grime scene, the British rap scene, basically, the grime scene. And part 1 of Blinded by Your Grace is good, but part 2, he got the gospel choir, and man, that song, it's crazy. Go check it out. The band Joseph consists of 3 sisters from Portland, known for their infectious indie pop and stirring vocal harmonies. We recently spoke with Megan Klausner about how she convinced her sisters to leave their jobs and start the band, the importance of family, and the inspiration for their spiritually infused music. A lot of Relevant listeners are fans of Joseph, and they are featured in the new issue of Relevant. Here's another part of the interview we have with them.
With the band,
the band, it's the band is called Joseph.
Right. It's not the band
But
Perry.
their social media is the band Joseph.
Yeah, but when you Google Joseph,
I do feel like
they have some competition.
A lot of Technicolor Dreamcoats are going to pop up in your search results. So just Google the band Joseph and you're good.
Yeah. I might be the only person that's having a hiccup with this, so I think we can move forward.
All right. Without any further ado, here is the band Joseph.
Just Joseph.
I know you started out as just doing some solo singer-songwriter works, and then you invited your sisters to join you and start a band. What was their reaction when you asked them? Was there any of like, you're out of your mind, I can't just drop what I'm doing and start touring and going on the road, or were they pretty much on board from the get-go?
I really don't think that they knew what they were getting into, honestly, and they would say that if you asked them. It was, at the time, I was just kind of singing in living rooms and coffee shops and Johnny Carino's Italian restaurants with sports playing above my head. So it was like, that was the extent of what it looked like, what I'd experienced for touring. And we didn't grow up with, like, going to shows really or understanding the world of live music. So when I, volleyed the idea to them, I had an inkling, but I don't think even I knew anything like what we are doing now. It really, Megan and Allie had no idea. So it was like, I just kind of, said, what do you think? And they said, sure, we'll sing backup for you for your stuff. And then it was like the first or second time we were singing together, I had this moment where I was like, this is going to be a different thing. And over time kind of had to take them to shows and slowly kind of reveal what this looks like.
Don't know what to say, don't know what to do. Slid 100 ways when I'd really like to follow you. Creatures gonna run, people gonna move. I don't really know what I'm getting myself into.
Do you feel like now that you guys are so busy, you're touring a lot, and obviously you've got a lot riding on your albums and your releases now? Is it different or more challenging to write now than it was back when you were just writing these songs were just for you and you didn't know if anybody would ever hear them?
I mean, I think that it really challenges a solid inner compass. It really, because you do have so many more voices giving opinions, and you have so many different cooks in the kitchen, and you also have this broader range of people that you want to please, honestly.
Sure.
And it's easy to, I think we experienced it more and kind of like went through it more with the last album, where we realized, okay, so the audience that we've gathered here, they really like these hopeful, anthemic, triumph songs, and we've gotten a lot of feedback about that, so we should probably write more of those. Mm-hmm. And it's interesting how starting with that in mind only produces, falsity. It's just like, it's not, it's a you're trying it on. It's not real. And it was a process of realizing, like, oh, okay. So actually, instead of trying to create something and then live into it, we just have to, like, be still and quiet and listen to what's already inside and the actual things we're going through and feeling, and then write about that. And that was when, like, Vegan had a moment and wrote what ended up becoming, like, the title track of the album, which she was just literally writing in her journal and saying she was trying to write songs. She was like, I can't say a true thing. It's hard to be that honest.
Yeah.
There's always these two thoughts in my head that come one right after the other. I'm alone. No, you're not. And it's like, oh, there's the song,
Don't cover our tracks. Don't cover. We'll say it wasn't easy. No, it was never easy. And when we look back, and wonder how we got here. Tell them how we got here. It was blood and tears.
When all is said and done, like at the end of the day, what would you hope, if you got to pick, what would you hope that Joseph's legacy is? What do you hope it's remembered for?
We talk about that a lot, just kind of what we're trying to give people at shows and through the music. And honestly, we just want people to feel like they're not the only one who feels a certain way, that sense of me too that happens,
Yeah.
And hopefully the shows are like a chance to, take a moment with yourself, and hopefully the songs enter in the listener, like, an experience and a meeting with themselves that they can kind of think through and be honest about things that they're feeling.
Screaming underwater, SOS. Can you hear me calling? SOS. Did it to myself, now I leave your help alone and overboard, yelling SOS. My hands are
That was Joseph. Stay tuned. Up next, your feedback.
Now, are they a band or?
No, it's just.
Wait, did we just have a guy on named Joseph? I don't. Tyler, do you have an interview with a guy, Joseph? Joseph? Is there a Joseph? I don't know.
It was a slow week. He's a nice guy. He has some good thoughts.
Yeah. I ran into this guy, Joseph, and he's got some thoughts about magnetic fingers.
He runs the DiGiorno social media accounts.
The guy's the best.
Yeah.
He's so funny.
Joseph's great.
I've never really thought about a tail before. It's about 45 minutes later. He still doesn't know whether you think it'd be fun.
I wanna lay here, lost and bitter. So long, I feel like I could die. I wanna tell you what my truth is, but it's buried down inside, shining light.
Is there a connection between hairiness and holiness? Absolutely. From John the Baptist to St. Francis to Charles Spurgeon, godly men have been growing beards since the beginning of time. In Bearded Gospel Men, authors Jared Brock and Aaron Alford bring you a book that may change your life and make it a whole lot hairier. Visit beardedgospelmen.com to discover the hairy path of holiness as you learn about a new bearded hero of the faith each day for 31 days. That's beardedgospelmen.com.
I wanna break down where your heart gets so torn it's almost breaking mine. I wanna lay here, lost and bitter. So long, I feel like I could die.
You're listening to Bishop Briggs. The song is Dream. That's my high school nickname. Okay, it's time for your feedback. Last week on the show, I don't know why we got talking about this, but we asked you what's the funniest or weirdest thing that's happened to you on a flight. Remember, we were recording this episode very early in the week, so
one
if you posted throughout the week, sorry we haven't seen it by the time we recorded.
Sure, it's great.
Yeah,
but sorry.
Well, people can go at Relevant Podcast, or they could look on the podcast episode page from last week and see all the replies. But here's a few that caught our eye.
Brooke O, her response was simply an image she found, an image she evidently took and posted on Twitter from an airport. So I guess that counts as feedback. That says, I found Jesse's doppelganger in the Boston airport. And I'm sorry, Brooke, this guy looks nothing like me. I'm a little insulted, and I'm going to block you. I've never blocked anyone.
I feel you, man. I get this a few times a year where somebody will be like, they'll tag me and they'll like, hey, my friends tell me I look like that guy from Relevant. And they'll post a picture of themselves, and I'm like, man, that's just insulting. But
yeah, well,
it just happened last night.
It could be I'm not self-aware. It could be I'm prideful. It could be I'm blocking Brooke O and reporting her to Twitter. Guess which one is happening? I'm gonna ask. I got a new buddy over here, Joseph, who's been hanging out for the pod, thinking about different tail scenarios. I'll ask him. He said the resemblance is uncanny, so I've asked him to leave. So we won't be hearing from Joseph and his opinion about tails anytime soon.
This is I wasn't aware of this, but according to Doug McGregor, Relevant favorites Johnny Swim did one of those Live at 35 concerts for Southwest, like the on-air flight performances.
No.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
no.
what it says. The video they posted of it looked super awkward. Well, yeah. I would imagine.
Man,
that's like the ultimate worst case scenario of what we were talking about earlier with Bon Iver, but you're on a flight to boot. And we like Johnny Swim. I'm a fan of Johnny Swim, but I do not want to hear Johnny Swim on the Southwest flight. I'm sorry, guys.
No one does.
Yeah, we got talking about that last week. It's just awful.
I won't get into Matt's entire feedback, but I will say that he was flying back from Israel. He was doing some work over there.
Yeah.
And he got interrogated pretty intensely about his feelings about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict.
Yeah.
And
I have too.
Really?
I got detained.
What are they doing?
I mean, when you go into the Tel Aviv airport, they scan your luggage in front of you, and then they go through all your bags, the stuff you're checking. And if there's stuff in there they don't like, they'll pull you aside.
Like, what would there be in there? He had like film equipment or something.
The first time I went over there, everybody else in my group went to their flights, and I was detained, and they didn't know that. And so I was put in it was about the size of a phone booth. And it was just, they took everything. They took my phone, my laptop. They took my apparel that I was wearing.
Wow.
And I was left there in my underwear alone. And they didn't tell me what I had done.
Was it cold?
It was, yeah. I mean, you're like in a foreign country, you have no rights, and you're detained. And they left me alone for 15 minutes. Came in, asked me a million questions, and then eventually just returned everything, and I was on my way. It was bizarre.
Wow.
I mean, they do that to just scare you, remind you that you don't have any rights here.
It worked. I was scared.
Yeah.
I wasn't even part of it.
It was not good.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah. So I feel you, Joseph, or whoever that was.
Speaking of Joseph, he's trying to get back in. No one cares what you think about tails, Joseph. Go away. This guy. He had his chance, but he blew it. He knew that picture looked nothing like me. Bethany had a story that was sort of like that episode of...
Please read every word of it. I love this one so much.
This is wild.
See, I didn't think it was that wild. She met someone... Okay, Eddie, you explain it, and I'll tell you why I don't think it's wild.
No. I just want you to read the end of it.
I did. I read the end of it, and that's what I want to get to. But I first want to, she was on a plane and with next to someone. And Eddie, if I'm butchering something that you or Tyler that you guys think is wild, please help me out. But she was on a plane with someone, and the next flight, she got to know the person. The next flight, she ended up being on that same plane, and the next flight, that person was next to her friend on a plane. I don't think that's wild because I've had that before. Or on an international trip, and the person books a ticket at the same time, and you're flying by the same people. But they became friends, and they connected on Facebook. And the last line is, unfortunately, our friend died of natural causes. I don't know why I'm laughing. After the flight.
That is exactly why I didn't want to read that because it was such a left turn. All of a sudden, I'm like, oh, it
was basically says that the friend is a Christian and she knows we'll see him again one day. But a lot of the sites reminded me of that episode of The Office where Will Ferrell and Steve Carell first meet, and they're both waiting at the bar and they're waiting for each other. It's not a coincidence because obviously, and I'm not, maybe I'm just a little
you are too late.
Bethany,
you are way too late,
but,
Jesse.
I think that it's cool. I guess I'm sorry for your loss, but
I'm so sorry to our friend that wrote that in at Jesse's comments. That was a pretty insensitive way to handle that, Jesse.
Yeah, they're gonna tweet at you with a bunch of the arrow down signs.
Yeah, Jesse's stock down.
Eddie's
way down.
Plummeting
down too. Chandler's stock up.
Chandler's stock's up.
Yeah, Chandler's had a nice week.
Invest.
Yeah,
time to invest. If you're picking futures, I'd bet on Chandler.
I'd bet on Chandler too.
Someone tweeted me a picture of a Mexican restaurant called Guapos. I appreciate that. So
okay, there you go. All right, well that'll do it for last week's feedback, or at least 1 day of last week's feedback.
Yeah.
You can chime in on the site. Okay, it's time for this week's
editorial question of the week. Hey.
Okay, so earlier in the podcast, we got to know our new managing editor, Andre Henry, with some hard-hitting questions, and we thought for this week's question of the week, we would pose some to you. And for this week's question of the week, I'm going to toss it over to Jesse, the Guapo Carey.
Jesse Carey, everybody.
You're going to answer two questions for us this week, and I'm going to read them as they appear in my app that I'm going to use to interview people on this podcast.
Yeah.
There's a great test run. Can I add a third question of the week since we're just going off the rails and asking a bunch of questions? Is this segment a good idea or a terrible one? Because I thought it was going to be hilarious. Now I'm very much second guessing myself. So
the segment idea is that we get thought leaders like, not exaggerating, like NT Wright and others on the show.
Yes.
But rather than doing the same old conversations with these people, we've read their books, whatever. Jesse had the idea that we ask random app-generated questions to these thought leaders.
It is as bad an idea as I have ever heard from.
You should see the email. I've actually pitched this to a couple of people who want to come on and do it, but I might cancel their appearances. You should see my pitch email. You should see. Should I read my pitch email real quick?
I'd love to hear it real quick.
Dear NT Wright, Jesse Carey from the Sports.
Dear Sir or Madam.
Relevant does a sports podcast. You probably heard it in the Chicago Tribune.
Oh man, I'm reading it now, and after we did it with Andre, I think this will go terribly. The guest appearance will be for a new segment where thinkers, leaders, and influences come on, and we ask them icebreaker-style questions. They would mostly be funny would you rather type of questions, as well as some somewhat serious ones, and give our audience a new perspective on some of their favorite writers, influences, and artists. We can also chat about blank, your new project.
Oh, no.
They come on and I say, what do you think about Tails? I mean, technically the email is accurate, which is why I've had a couple of people agree to come on, which I will be promptly canceling.
All right. So for this week's question of the week, take it away, Jesse the Guapo Carey.
Okay, these are the two that we've been debating the whole podcast, and
I'm gonna open it up.
Okay, what would it be like to have magnetic fingertips? The wording is important. It has to be word for word from the app.
Right.
So that's open-ended.
Right,
what would it be like?
Because of how generically bad the writing is.
I mean, some people you can answer. I mean, theoretically, you could answer one word if you wanted to, or you could get deep into this thing.
Yeah.
And
it's a twofer. This is the first time in 12 years that we've ever had two editorial questions of the week.
The other one is a yes or no, but I'm hoping people get more into their answer.
Well, we want to know the why. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think it would be fun to have a tail? This is an app that's in the App Store, and I was going to play this with thought leaders. That email went out, and there are agreements made.
There's a line queuing up at the door of thought leaders who want to play your silly game.
You think I'm joking? No,
I don't.
I'm going to have to cancel these.
No, NT Wright's like,
hey, that's up to the audience. If the audience says they want to hear it, we're going to give the people what they want.
Yeah,
what other podcasts are going to get that?
This sounds like when like actors have to do like press junkets and they're like, sure, as long as you manage the movie, sure, I'll play ping pong with you.
All right. Well, if you want to answer those two questions and then also tell us if you think Jesse should move forward with this segment, hit us up on Twitter at Relevant Podcasts, or you can post your longer replies on the podcast episode page at relevantmagazine.com.
And tell me who you want to appear on that segment, because there's a good chance to already reach out to them.
We'll get them.
All right. On that note, many thanks to this week's sponsors for making the episode possible. Remember, HelloFresh, you can get $30 off your first week of HelloFresh by going to HelloFresh.com/relevant and entering offer code RELEVANT30. Also, thanks to ZipRecruiter, you can go to ZipRecruiter.com/relevant to post jobs for free. Go do that.
Have you hired? You've gotten a lot of.
Yeah, we posted an accounting job and a sales job, and we got a lot of qualified candidates.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And also thanks to our guest for joining us this week. Katie Davis Majors' book is Daring to Hope, and it's out now. You can follow her on Twitter at Katie in Uganda. That's a good Twitter handle.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
Very specific.
Also, thanks to Joseph for joining us. Their EP, Stay Awake, is out now, and you can follow them on Twitter at The Band Joseph.
They should have had the band, Joseph.
There's no commas in Twitter.
Yeah, they have to spell
but they
it
should have
out,
spelled
obviously.
it out. Yeah.
That's funny. Hey, right now, the new issue of Relevant just came out last week. We told you about it. Anthony Anderson from Blackish is on the cover. There's a lot of great content in the issue. Go check it out at relevantmagazine.com. You can view the whole issue there. You can also get it on newsstands nationwide, particularly Barnes & Nobles carry us pretty deeply. And if you like what you see, get the magazine. You can subscribe at relevantmagazine.com. There's a special deal going on now. I think you'll like it. And it also makes a good Christmas gift if you're thinking about that.
That's a good idea.
Think about that.
Yeah.
The gift that keeps on giving all year long. You get credit all year long.
That is what's really
It's a
fun.
pretty good deal. You get the credit. On that note, we'll wrap it up. I'm Cameron Strang.
I'm Eddie.
I'm Chandler Strang.
The man Eddie.
Yeah, I'm Eddie in Orlando. I guess would be my Twitter name, right?
Eddie in Orlando, right? Yeah. There's the man Chandler.
I'm Jesse Carey.
I'm Tyler Huckabee.
All right, we'll see you next week.
Nice show today, Chandler.
Good job. Good job, Chandler. He's like, what's the punchline?
That's how I wanted to end the show, is by affirming you. Great.
Thank you for listening to the Relevant Podcast. If you like what you heard, be sure to leave us a review on iTunes. Check out other shows from the Relevant Podcast Network in the podcast section at relevantmagazine.com. And while you're there, browse exclusive podcast merchandise at our online store. Make sure to subscribe to Relevant Magazine. Info is available at relevantmagazine.com/subscribe.
Ha 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 ha.